Hi, I'm Don at Macomb, Paranormal Investigations and Research, and I just completed filming a video at a cemetery that I visited last October. And here it is a year later, and I decided to go back and visit it again. I thought it was kind of important to give you an introduction personally to this video, the current one that I just did. I did it last Tuesday, in fact, it was a week ago today. At Macomb Paranormal Investigation, I've always said that I wouldn't lie, I wouldn't fake anything, and unlike some of the other things that you're seeing on TV shows, we don't get over dramatic with anything. If you hear a spirit or something kind of startles you, we're not going to run and hide like a lot of these other shows do. They're dramatizing it for TV. If you're a paranormal investigator, you're asking for a spirit to appear or communicate with you. So be careful what you wish for. You just may get that. So, I told you we never lie or we never would fake anything. And there are many times that these shows, they go out and film an investigation for weeks on end. Sometimes they put 5, 7, 10 days in an investigation. And by the time it hits the editing room floor, they get maybe an hour of footage out of it for TV. And that's because no one wants to watch a boring paranormal show that doesn't get any paranormal activity on, to be honest. Here at Macomb Paranormal, we're not going to lie about that. We get, that's my dog barking, that's Millie. But we sometimes go out on investigations and probably 50% of the time, maybe 60% of the time, we may get activity. And out of that, maybe 10 or 20% of that can be debunked. Not everything that appears on a video is paranormal. Sometimes it's EMF interference. Sometimes it's other things that are interfering with our equipment. The reason I wanted to give you this introduction today was because when we went back out to Vanderbilt, Michigan, we reinvestigated the Fox Tower Cemetery. Now, this cemetery is supposed to be haunted. It said that there's a young girl in white that roams around the cemetery at night, and it's been seen before. There's a definite temperature drop when you go into the gate of that cemetery. You can actually feel the temperature shift. But we went back to that cemetery last Tuesday, like I said. We didn't get any activity. At least I didn't think we did. I did have some equipment malfunction that I didn't really think about until I started reviewing the footage. I had a voice recorder that went kind of crazy on me. I couldn't turn it off. I was having trouble getting it to record. Then when I got to record, I couldn't get it to shut off again. And I never did get any voices on or EVPs on that recorder. But there was a definite malfunction. It's a brand new recorder. I've only used it a couple of times in the investigations that we do. And it's never reacted this way before. A few minutes after I walked away from this one area, the voice recorder started working again. Is that paranormal or just a glitch in the equipment? I don't know. It could very well be paranormal. But the bottom line is, the reason I wanted to give you an introduction to this video that I'm going to present here today is that we didn't get any activity here. The last time we did, and this in fact is the cemetery where I was scratched at. I was at the back area, as you'll see on the video, that's surrounded by a fence made out of some type of wire, like a chicken wire type fencing. And it's the only part of this cemetery that's fenced off. I went back there and I was actually scratched. I felt an arm go around me, and I turned around. I was thinking it was maybe a caretaker or another visitor wanting to know what I was doing here. What the heck are you doing here, talking to, doing what you're doing? And I know what I felt. An arm went around me, and I turned around thinking it may be, like I said, the caretaker or someone, and there was no one there. So that was a little strange. I felt like, it's time to leave. I was by myself, and one of the cardinal rules of paranormal investigation, you probably shouldn't go solo. And the reason for this is, it's more of physical danger than a paranormal one. if you should find a hole or a tree branch or a tree root sticking out of the ground, you should trip, fall, and hurt yourself. There's no one there to help you, especially in this particular cemetery. We are out in the middle of nowhere. The closest farm around here is probably a good mile, mile and a half down the road. There's no cell service here. We were getting nothing on our cell phones at all. So if I would have fallen last year and hurt myself, I would have been in deep trouble. So this year, I took my sister-in-law with me, Mary Ann Burke. She goes by the nickname of Susie, so you'll hear me referring to her maybe in this video as Susie. But it was a very interesting investigation. Even though we didn't get any activity here, it was still very interesting, and some of the things that we found out. Later on this past week, I got to thinking about it. I heard something on the news, and it kind of sparked a thought in my head. We didn't get any activity in the cemetery, but the majority of the graves that are in this cemetery are children. There were probably more children buried in this cemetery, and especially in that one area that I was scratched at and felt the arm go around me at. There was more children buried there than I've seen in most other cemeteries. I heard on the news, school starting close to Halloween, and on the news, local news here, they were talking about parents, talk to your children. Make sure they don't get in the cars with strangers. They don't talk to strangers. You see where I'm going with this? If I was a spirit and I was buried next to my children, and this creepy old man was trying to communicate and talk to my children, which I wasn't thinking at the time. I wasn't thinking about these graves being that of children. Would you allow your children to talk to a strange man? And that's basically what I got to thinking about. Just maybe when I had that arm go around me, and I ended up being scratched, I'll show on the video, I'll show the fingerprints that were left around my belt area where I felt that hand. I know what I felt. I could have swore someone was behind me and was pulling me away from those graves and asking me to leave. And coincidentally enough, at that point, I stopped getting activity. I was not getting any activity at all there. And then as I went back this past week, I've got no activity at all whatsoever. But like I said, we had a very interesting investigation. We found many of those graves that were children. And some interesting things that we found out about these graves that you'll see. People have been out here visiting these graves. It's not as abandoned of a cemetery as I thought. So there are some people out here that come and visit on a normal basis. But I just want to give this a quick introduction to this video. We didn't get any activity here, but it just goes to show sometimes things go a little bit deeper than what a video or paranormal investigation shows. You need to think about it sometimes and think, maybe I didn't get any activity here, but why? If spirits, as I believe, are made up of energy, and if they're interdimensional, they can go between different times, dimensions, and space at their choosing. And if I'm a parent and I'm buried next to my children, my very young children who passed away at a very young age, some of these kids were babies, am I going to let this creepy old man that looks like me talk to my kids, not knowing who it is? No, I'm not. And I'm going to try to get you away from them any way I know how. And I think that's what happened last time. Someone was asking me very politely to leave. And they showed me they meant business. Their arm went around me. I felt the fingers on me. I have fingerprints on my stomach, my belt area. And someone asked me to leave, and I did. I respected that, and I figured, I don't know what this is. At that time I was thinking, maybe it was something a little bit more than a normal spirit. Maybe it was something a little bit more, an evil aspect of things. And I said, maybe I better leave. I'm here alone. But going back this time with Susie, we had more time to investigate the graves for what they are, see that they were notice that they were all children here. There were a good portion were children. And then having heard that news commentary on our local news channel about parents talk to your children about talking to creepy old men that might pull up in a car next to your kid and try to entice them into a car or talk to them, it hit me. I'm that creepy old man that was trying to talk to these spirits that turn out to be children. What more could I expect? So it was very interesting. And I just wanted to put that out there. When you go on an investigation, think about things like that sometimes. So I've rambled on long enough. I just wanted to give this introduction in person. I've rambled on with this enough. Let's go on to this investigation and watch it and see what we found out. Thank you. And be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It means a lot to our channel when you do that. The robots for YouTube, it kicks in on that, the algorithms, you never can say that word, but those robots pick up on that, and it shows that people are actually viewing our video. So it helps us a great deal, and it doesn't cost you a thing to subscribe. And that way, when we make more videos, it'll come up and tell you. One other quick point. This coming Saturday is going to be October 18th, 2025. And myself and a few of my team members are going to be out at the Macomb County Historical Society Crocker House Museum. And we're going to be doing a paranormal investigation event there. If you're local here in Macomb County, be sure to stop by. It should be a fun night. There's going to be a lot of things going on. There are a lot of exhibits, a lot of other things besides our paranormal investigation. And who knows, we might be able to get old man Crocker to pop in and say hello to us. Okay, let's go on with the video. Here we are back at the Fox Tower Cemetery. They call it the Hudson's Township Cemetery in Vanderbilt, Michigan. We were here last year and we got a lot of activity. And I came back, I want to see what we get today. That area is still all fenced off from the back. They still got that chicken wire or whatever around it, and that's where I was scratched last year. I did some research on that, and I wasn't able to find out why that's fenced off. It's just really unusual. There are a lot of graves of young children in there, and I don't know, maybe it's a family plot or a family section. I don't know. I'm going to go back over here to the one grave that I got the activity at last year. I want to start there and see if I can get some activity on a REM pod. There was some speculation. I got some feedback last year because there were a couple of blades of grass by this grave that was hitting the REM pod. They were telling me that, oh well, maybe it's the grass that's making it go off. But I did some tests. The only thing that I can find is that a walkie-talkie, if it's really close by, that will set it off.
Stereo, low cut, off.
I'm going to set the voice recorder down there also, see if we can get anything. Hello, I'm Don. I was here last year and I visited you. And you made that REM pod go off last year quite a bit. We got quite a bit of activity from you. If you touch that, it'll go off. And the lights will light up. Can you touch that antenna for me? You don't have to be afraid of that. You did it last year for me. It's not going to hurt you. You just touch that and it'll show us that you're here and that you want to visit with us. There's also a small little recorder there. If you talk really loud into that, we can't hear you sometimes, but the recorder can pick you up. Can you talk into that and tell us your name? Okay, you don't want to talk today. Let's see. He died in 1898, so it's been quite some time. Isidore Brodel. Mr. Brodel, you want to talk to us? You were pretty young when you passed away, and I think you told me last year that you had some disease or that you passed away from an illness. You were like 30-some years old. And you actually died on my birthday, August 5th. Can you touch that antenna or just come close to it and set it off? Those lights will light up. You know, some days we don't get any activity at all anywhere, and other days we have a lot of activity. Okay, let's see if we can go someplace else here and pick something up. You mean Mr. Brodel don't want to talk with us today? That was a section in the back that was kind of weird last year. It was rounded out. It almost looked like an entryway into something. And I wasn't going to go back there alone. I mean, safety reasons. If I'd fall and sprain an ankle or something, there was no one here to help me. But I've got Susie here today wandering around. And she's my backup today. If I fall and break a leg, maybe she can drag me out. Let's go back to this area in the back where I got scratched at last year. Let's see what happens. I did a lot of research in this area, and I can't find out why this is all fenced off the way it is. And that storm came through last year. A lot of trees are messed up here. This is where I got scratched at. Let's see if I can get anything here. Well, that tombstone's falling over too. That wasn't that way last year, I don't believe. Person was born in 1822 and died in 1904. Let's see what we can get. I'm going to set the voice recorder up here also next to it. Let's see what we can get. Hello, my name's Don. Wish nothing but peace and respect. I come out and I visit places like this, these resting places. And if there are any spirits that might be here, that might want to come back to where their earthly remains are still at and visit with us, feel free. If you touch that little instrument there with the red on it, touch the antenna, it'll light up. It won't hurt you, just tell me that you're here. Also, if you talk loud enough, that other instrument, it's a voice recorder, it may be able to hear you. Would you want to talk to me? No? You don't have to be afraid of that. It won't hurt you in any way. It just lets me know you're here and you can answer questions with it. If you come close to it and you touch the antenna, a little green light will come on and you can answer yes and no questions with that. Can you touch that antenna, that little silver thing sticking up? Can you possibly talk into the voice recorder? Tell me your name. If you speak really loud, it might pick you up. I might be able to hear your voice. Can you tell me your name into the voice recorder? No response on that. Last year I was here, I was getting a lot of responses back at that other tombstone. And then I came back here and I was getting some responses. And then all of a sudden I felt like someone put their arm around me. I thought it was maybe a caretaker. And maybe he wanted to know what I was doing here or was curious. And he touched me and I turned around. There was no one there. And as I walked back to the car, I felt something on my stomach area by my belt. I lifted up my shirt and there was a big red mark there where I'd been scratched. I think that's the family of the, looks like, Waggoner? Waggoner. John Thompson. And then this headstone here, this is really kind of sad. This wasn't a child, one of a child. It would be 9 months and 17 days old. You still don't want to talk to me? Make that instrument light up? No? Okay. Now this is really strange here. There is a loaded shotgun shell laying right there. I don't know what that's doing there. But I am not going to touch it. That is really strange. Maybe he was a hunter. Who knows, but I'm not touching a loaded shotgun shell that's just laying there like that, sitting straight up. This was a veteran also. McCabe. It says McCabe on here. Mr. McCabe, would you want to talk with me? You could do the same thing if you touch that instrument or speak into that voice recorder really loud. I might be able to hear you, or you can make that instrument light up, and we can communicate that way using that. You have a flag there, so you must have been a veteran. You're a veteran of, well, you died in 1904. But you were born in 1822. That would have made you a Civil War veteran, 1860s. You'd been 40-some years old. 40 years old, 41 years old. You'd been too old for World War I in 1904. In fact, you'd been dead before World War I. Anything interesting in there, Susie? It's a lot of kids. This one headstone right here looks like Barnes, B-A-R-N-E-S. It's a large tombstone for a baby. 9 months, 17 days old. He died in 1880, it's like 1885 or 1888. Just that gate over there just seems so strange that this is all fenced in. There's another flag on the ground there. Yeah, set the flag up for him. It's a stick for the flag still there? Yeah. See if you can stick that in the ground.
Well, the stick is broken.
Okay. Broken. Ooh. Looks like it's been there quite some time. It's kind of tattered.
Yeah.
No one's been out here in quite some time. It's gonna be one of those days where I'm just not getting any activity. Don't look like.
Oh, they all have whistles.
You what?
They all have whistles in front of them.
Huh? Are they kids?
Yes, yes, they're all like babies.
Yeah.
Born in Scotland.
John Thompson.
Born in Scotland. Died in 1889.
Huh.
There's a little angel statue here too.
Those whistles look fairly new.
Yeah, there's a whistle on that one up there.
Someone's been out here recently to...
This one's like 2 years old. Maybe just 2 years old. Oh, there's cards on this one too.
There's got to be some information.
Quarter here.
It's a what?
A quarter.
Well, people leave coins on a tombstone. That's a sign of respect, especially if it's a veteran.
It's a 1999 coin.
That's an old custom of leaving a coin on a headstone. There's a flag on that one also. It looks like he's a veteran, so it has to be someone older.
1844 to 1916.
Oh, I just noticed there's an angel on this big one here too.
Yeah, that's what's over here.
Now what's really strange is I thought there was a baby who was buried up front where the car is parked. There was an angel, there was a tombstone, but the guy was 40 years old.
All the babies have flowers and whistles.
Huh.
Born 1895, in October, died in November.
Well, we may not get paranormal activity today, but it's interesting, and looking at some of the dates and stuff, I've got more time today to mess around. And like I said, I don't like doing these solo. As uneven as this ground is, if I found a hole someplace and fell and broke a leg or an ankle or something.
Somebody grabbed your ankle.
Huh?
Or somebody grabbed your ankle.
Somebody grabbed my ankle from the grave. Yeah.
There's some old baby ones up there too.
There's a lot of
Can't
babies
even
buried
see.
in this cemetery.
You can't even see them because it's all
Look at the
covered
hill
in
up there.
weeds.
There's some flowers up on that hill. There are purple flowers up there, so there must be some graves up there.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna go back to that other area since I got somebody with me today. If I fall, I'm not too worried about it. Okay, let's pick up the REM pod, and it doesn't look like we're getting much activity today with it. And I'll have to review the Huh. Well, that's interesting. The record light is on, but it's not moving, it's not recording. That's never happened before. Let's turn it off and see. Huh. Now it says it's recording, but it's not showing that it's recording. That is really strange. It's like this has just stopped working altogether. I have more strange stuff that happens to equipment and to me back here by these graves. I just checked all this stuff out last night and was working just fine. I can't even get it to power off right now. Huh. This is really strange. I tried to turn it off. It says now recording. But it's not showing anything. There we go. I just got it to work now. Huh. Now that was really strange. I get more weird stuff that happens back here with equipment. Then, like I said, last year I got scratched back here. If you don't want to touch that REM pod, that little thing with the red on it, if you'd like to talk into this microphone here on this voice recorder that I'm holding in my hand, if you talk really loud, I might be able to hear your voice. Would you like to tell me your name? I really shouldn't be holding this in my hand. I really should set it down. Let's go someplace else. Let's look around, see if we get activity somewhere else. Okay, now it's stopped recording now. That's weird. Okay. Let's walk around here. Let's try this one right here. This looks like a really old weathered tombstone. I'll turn the voice recorder on. Yeah, that's working okay. The voice recorder is not affecting it any. Hello, my name is Don. I wish you nothing but peace and respect. Would you like to talk with me? It's hard to read your tombstone. You can't even read it, it's so weathered. If you talk into that little black thing, I might be able to hear your voice. And if you try to touch that silver thing sticking up that antenna where the red light is, it'll make it light up. We can communicate that way. Can you touch that instrument? Can you make it light up? No? Can you talk into that voice recorder? Where I could hear your voice? Could you tell me your name? We can't see your name on the tombstone here, your headstone. No? Okay, well, thank you anyway. Is there anything up there?
Yeah, but there's names on the ones way up there. But that's all, the last name. There's no dates or anything. You can tell it. They're really old. And this one right here, somebody comes because I think it's a 3-year-old. Somebody that was in 1990 something, 90 and whatever.
1980 something?
1990.
Oh, okay.
That one's a 3-year-old, and somebody still comes. Those are live flowers in that pot there.
Okay. That's probably one. That's got to be one of the newer graves in here. There's a grave, there's a headstone down by that tree down there. And what's really weird, if I remember right, I thought it was another young kid. There's a lamb, or like a small lamb sitting next to it, like you would put near a baby or a child's grave. And that guy was 30 some odd years old, I think, when he died. He was an adult. There was a lamb by it. Okay. Let's take this equipment. Let's go somewhere else and try it. I know this is working because it works when I touch it. It goes crazy. This cemetery is built on such an incline. It's hilly as all get out. Some older graves over here that are really interesting. What's this? That's got some type of old, look like an old picture in it. Surprised that one tree is the only tree that looks like it was damaged during the storm last year. We had a really bad storm that came through here, and people in this area were without power for weeks. They had tornadoes go through, straight line winds. I'm surprised none of these other trees fell over. Now this one's changed. This one wasn't like this last year when I came out. But it's really weird. Person was born July 31st, 1951. And he died 1997. It's changed here. People have been to visit you recently. Because a lot of this stuff wasn't here last year when I was here. I thought it was unusual that there was a lamb on your tombstone, but I didn't notice Wile E. Coyote on it. And I noticed that teddy bear with the can of Pringles or whatever it is on there. That wasn't here last year either. You don't want to talk to me or communicate? You just touch that antenna and you let me know you're here. I should have bought a spirit box out here with me today. My friend Dalen, the Ghost Brothers, he calls these resting communities. And he likes to come out to what he calls the resting communities, and he brings a ghost box and he communicates with some of the spirits that are out here with the ghost box or the spirit box. I don't like calling them ghosts. That's kind of, I don't know. To me it's a little, not disrespectful, but a little, I don't know. I just don't like the term ghost. I like to use the word spirit. I like to say spirit box. You know, I'm just not getting any activity here today at all. I'm going to go back over to the headstone before I leave and see if I get any activity back. The one I had all the activity on last year. I'll try this one more time and I'll about do it. This was an old one here. It's right next to the one I got all the activity at last year. My name's Don. I wish you peace and respect. Can you communicate with us? Can you touch that little silver thing that's sticking up out of that box and make those lights light up? I don't know you're here. That black thing that's on your tombstone there, your headstone, that's a voice recorder. If you talk really loud into that, sometimes I can hear you. My ears might not pick it up, but that recorder will. I see that you were a veteran also, so was I. Your marker here is pretty weathered. So you must have passed away a long time ago. I wonder what war you were in. See if we can find a date. Well, the other side's pretty good. You were 67 years old. You died in 1894. Doesn't say when you were born now. Well, you were 67 years old. So you could have very well been in the Civil War. You would have been in your 30s. There were a lot of men that were your age in the Civil War. They weren't all young men. You don't want to try to communicate either? Okay, well, thank you. This is just a really different cemetery. But that'll probably wrap it up for this video. I'm going to try to research a little bit more. I just want to get back out here from last year. I wasn't out here that long last year. I just want to get out here again with somebody else where I could walk around a little bit more. And last year, looks like Mr. Brody, B-R-O-D-I-E. He was a young man when he passed away. I was getting a lot of activity there. The REM pod was just going off, answering it, and it was intelligent. I mean, it very well could have been a blade of grass touching it, some people have suggested, but I've tested it, and the only thing that really sets off and breaks that electromagnetic field around the REM pod was a walkie-talkie if I transmitted right next to it. And that would set it off and it would go crazy. A blade of grass doesn't really... Blade of grass, an insect, a butterfly, bee, fly, it doesn't usually set it off. But especially when it's an intelligent response, when I ask a question and I get a solid yes or no response or an answer that's intelligent on it, it was a little unusual. And then to be scratched over in the backside there, that was really weird. I know what I felt. I thought sure that the caretaker or there was someone visiting out here and put their arm around me or whatever, wanted to either know what I was doing out here and tell me to leave or whatever reason. But I know I felt an arm go around me and turned around and there was absolutely nothing there. Then when I walked to the car, like I said, I lifted up my shirt because I felt a little burning or stinging. And I had a scratch, I had fingerprints on my chest. So that was definitely a little weird. But I always said that I'm not going to lie or over-exaggerate in any of my videos. Sometimes, you know, on some of the paranormal shows on TV and on YouTube that you see, No one wants to sit around and watch something where you get no paranormal activity. It gets kind of boring at times, but I told you I'd never lie on one. And I wasn't going to over dramatize anything, and if I got activity, I got activity. And if I didn't, I wasn't going to make it up. And today is one of those days I'm just not getting anything. It happens. So that about wrap it up for today. And I'll get this video edited and we'll get it on the air. So until the next time, I think the next video might be Mount Vernon, now ghost town again. I might be going back to that cemetery. Yeah, if nothing else, that's just an interesting place also.